Hello, good day, everyone. My name is Paul Olele for Miami Web Fest, and with me, I'm with Mishka Cardenas. I hope I said the name correctly.
Pretty
Uh,
close.
she is she's with the film production company, the founder of the film production company, Rabiosa Pictures. And I think your husband as well, actor Juan Cardenas. He's also a co-founder as well. You've been running Rabiosa Pictures for a while. So pretty much just talk to me about Rabiosa Pictures. How did it all start for you? How did you get started in the film industry?
Great. So Juan Javier and I, we do Rabiosa Pictures together. We started it about 3 years back now. And we always talked about wanting our own production company so that we could work on the type of projects that we're interested in. And then most specifically because I did costume design for a while here in Los Angeles prior to us getting married and having children. And then when I had my kids, I took a little break. And when I wanted to get back into the film industry, I wanted to have a bigger role. I love writing. I love directing. It's something that that's like my big passion. That's my big goal. So I started to sit down and I started to write, and it kind of took off from there. That was kind of the kernel that started Rabiosa, because we were able to get all the equipment that we needed. It was a slow process. And we started to essentially make what I was writing with our fellow industry friends, actors that we went to graduate school together with. And it's been amazing. And, we just kind of keep going. I'm in the middle of editing a new short right now. And we have another short that's been in a few festivals this last year. And so Rabiosa is something that we wanted to bloom into something real big, and that we can start producing other people's works. And my husband is an amazing actor, a working actor. And, he is the AD for me on The Kids from Hunts, which is what's in Miami. And so he's spreading his wings, I'm spreading mine, and we're hopefully going to be able to include our colleagues, our friends, and be able to make great stuff and make money.
So you mentioned the introduction. Were there any challenges that you faced while starting this process? Because I know for every independent filmmaker, whether it be budgeting or whether it be getting equipment, which is just general challenges that you experienced while this process was on the come up.
So Juan has been on sets for over a decade. Like I said, I did a lot of indie films after grad school doing costumes and stuff. So we've done a lot of our learning in the workplace. We didn't go to film school. We watch a lot of films, we do a lot of research, and we learn our equipment. So we feel like each project that we do, we become more knowledgeable. So, I love the editing process. I would never have guessed that I would want to sit down and figure out the software for we use DaVinci, and it has been a great experience because with each project, I become more able, smarter, more capable. And I love that there's so much storytelling in the editing, which, we started in theater, and that doesn't even exist in that part of that world. You don't edit, it's all live. So a lot of the things that we are doing, we are learning as we go. So the challenges, honestly, we saved a lot of money. We have wonderful family. We budgeted and we learned our equipment. And so the challenges is learning the equipment when you didn't go to film school, because I know in film school, just like in a school for theater, you have to do, stage management. You have to be able to, learn to build sets. You have to learn how to do the soundboard. So I believe in film school, you're also asked to learn all these things, even if it's just acting you want to get into, or directing. So what's been wonderful for us is that we're learning as we go, and as we go, we know more. And the challenges are always there, but there's just new ones, because the ones that we've, been faced with, we figure them out. So it's been amazing. And I love working with him.
Yeah,
He's right.
I believe he is. I also wanted to just shift gears a little bit now to the screener that you sent to me, the kids from Hunts. This follows the story of a man in prison, Rikers Island, to be fair, in 1965, and then he encounters a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist is trying to understand more about him, how he got into this position, and there's sort of like an unusual relationship between the two. It was revealed that the psychiatrist was also from around like the same neighborhood in the Bronx, and they were from around the same area. So, what was the inspiration behind the plot of the film, or the short film?
Well, so it has 4 parts, and I think I sent you the 2 because with Miami it was kind of like there was a time limit. So in the 4th part, a lot is revealed. So if anyone ever wanted to go check out Rabiosa Pictures on YouTube to finish it, that's there. But like the impetus to this story is that I have some friends that dealt with like fostering here in California. Like as I was having kids, they were going through the foster program, and just speaking with her and stuff, it kind of got me interested. And then also I have family in New York City. My family immigrated very recently in like the 80s, but New York was one of the first places that had social programs like that. And they weren't perfect by any means. And but they were still the first place that it happened, where kids were trying to be placed. Anyways, the story I wrote is dark, and it does go to like a pretty dark place. And that is not based on anything other than like the characters that I created and going down the path with them. And but it is a story about people, and I am obsessed with character and place. Anytime I write anything, that's where I start. I don't really even start with a story. I start with characters, and I start with a location, and then it grows and it becomes something. So and New York City is my second home, and I think it's a great character. And so when it came to writing the kids from Hunts, like there's actually, it's essentially it's like historical fiction. So there's a lot of things that's going on in the script that are from true life, like the warden Milton. He is a real person that did try to implement this like reformatory program in the 60s. I did a lot of research on Rikers. I did a lot of research about the foster programs in the Bronx at the time. What Orchard Beach at the time looked like. That's where my main character Finn goes on his killing spree, essentially. And so where it all came from, I'm not even like 100% certain where it like first started. Obviously I have, like I said, some friends that dealt with the foster system, so I was already kind of, it was like permeating in the back of my brain as I was writing. And so yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
That's interesting. So it's just taking real, just looking at New York City as is, and just, okay, this is Rikers, this is how it was, and just sort of like fitting a narrative with what information you conceived from the research. That's interesting. So I also see that you've directed other short films as well. You mentioned earlier that you're in the process of another one as well. The ones that I saw, because I checked your Instagram page, Los Coyotes. My Spanish is terrible.
That's
Forgive me.
okay.
Jericho. What can you describe what the Lost I believe it's about coyotes, right? Because
it's like, well, so we're in the middle of editing that one. Hopefully we'll, maybe you'll see it one day. But that short is about 2 outlaws that are essentially like left in the desert for death, and them kind of exploring. It's a bit existential, just kind of exploring their life. Were they good enough men? There's like a big moment at the end where you realize that one person knows something that the other person doesn't know, and there is like a standoff at the end. But really, it's about seeing these grown men that are criminals who have lives and who have families, or the lack of families, and how they got to where they got, and are they good men? Could they have been better men? Should they try to live even though they know that at the end there's people waiting? And there's like a double kind of meaning to the coyotes, because they're in the desert, and like the fear is like, if we don't kill each other, the coyotes will come and get us. And then also, that coyotes is a term that's often used for, criminals. So that's Los Coyotes, and it's my husband's in that one. And actually Juan is also in Dancing to Jericho. Dancing to Jericho is more surreal. It's kind of up to interpretation, and it's about a woman that's been, I mean, listen, we live by the desert, so it's a good location for us. So she's out in the desert and she's been left by like a scorned lover, and she kind of goes through like she kind of speaks to God, or it's also sort of existential more. Definitely the Kids from Hunts is a lot more concrete. It's more based in realism. I have a full feature, Los Pollitos. Just realized that it's a similar title to Los Coyotes, but Los Pollitos, it's about the little chicken and that the mom is, anyways, doesn't matter. The point is that the Kids from Hunts has a full feature that I've created for it. So hopefully one day there will be the right amount of funds to go and actually film it in New York and get the whole feature out. And I love it. So. Mhm.
That's interesting. The Coyotes caught my attention because I ran into a coyote in the Hollywood Hills area
Yep,
a few months ago. So
it
it was not
happens.
a good
There's one
experience.
right out front. I thought it was a dog. I almost went to go save it. And then
Yeah,
I was like, oh, no, not
it's
a dog.
it's not a good experience. Apparently, if you
Scary.
turn your back, you open yourself up for danger because they would attack you. You know,
Yeah,
wow.
they're
I
very
really
hungry
used to
here.
it. I think the other question I wanted to ask is, well, participating in Miami Web Fest. Yeah, I know you told me off record before that you hadn't done this before. You haven't attended the festival before, but how do you feel, that your work, Rabiosa Pictures, is suddenly getting the attention now, with the Miami Web Fest and it's going places now. How do you feel about participating in this festival?
Super honored. I think it's wonderful. Juan is from Florida. I went to graduate school with Juan in Florida. We have like a very I love it. I love Miami. I think that it sounds, from what I've read and the research I did about the Miami Web Fest, it sounds, for web festivals, because that's a newer type of genre, and it's, it seems like you guys are on a lone island out there doing this. I think it's really special because yes, we have the equipment. Yes, we have the ability to go online and like post things on YouTube. And so people are able to kind of get their work out there, like, and make it more accessible. But honestly, if people don't know to look, no one will see it. And so what's wonderful about Miami Web Fest is that they give you this amazing platform, and they're showing work in like a new space. It doesn't feel new anymore, but it is, because when it comes to shorts and full features and the film festival circuit, that's been around a long time, and it's very competitive and it's very jam-packed. I think it's, there's so many people doing what we're doing, and I feel like it's important to showcase these type of like new media projects, and that's why I think Miami Web Fest is like pretty amazing.
That's good. Do you have any advice to up and coming filmmakers? Let's say, Jason, lives in Phoenix, Arizona, wants to pick up a camera and start, filming, his friends, and they want to develop like a new mini series. Do you have any advice to give to them? What should they do? What should they watch out for? What should they be mindful of when coming into this filmmaking industry, especially as an independent filmmaker?
So budget is so important. Like, you have to know what you can actually stress, like what you can put into it, because you're not making money in the beginning, you're investing in your projects, so, you have to know how much money you have, what you're willing to spend. And then when you're writing or when you're coming up with concept, think about budget, because, if you're writing these like sci-fis that need a lot of, post production, you're going to run into problems unless like you're this whiz and you've got the editing software and you figure, like, for example, I have a friend of mine who figured out how to do like blood splatter on DaVinci. That is something that's so beyond my like capabilities. I would get someone to do that for me. And so that would be something, if I knew I needed something in post with blood, I have to budget money for that. So when I write, when I know it's something that like Rabiosa Pictures is going to produce, it needs to be something that we can actually produce. So getting the camera, it's great. Getting the audio equipment and audio, it's really good to have an audio person. You can try to do audio by yourself. We've done both. Kids from Hunts is actually audio that Juan and I did, and we did have to have our audio person in post fix a lot of our issues because that's not our forte. So there are things that you'll be able to do. And if you know you're good at those things, like, you know, you're good at audio or you're good at in post, then that's part of the budget. You can be like, I'm going to take care of that. But if you know you need a colorist, or you know you need someone to be on set because you need someone, you know, it's an intimate scene outside, you're going to need a boom mic, you're going to need everyone like mic'd up, well, then you like save the money and you get the right people helping you. Because what I love about film, like Juan and I did Kids from Hunts literally with like ourselves. It was the smallest production we've ever done as far as crew. And it was hard, but it was totally amazing, but it was hard. So it's much better to have like a good group of people that everyone comes together. Film takes a lot of people. There's a lot of hands that comes into television and film and indie films and web series. And so, you know what, write something, know that you can actually execute. And by execute, I mean, know if you could get the location. And for example, Juan is a union actor. I work with a lot with union actors. You need to make sure you go through SAG-AFTRA. You need to make sure you get your waivers. You need to do everything the right way. So just start, you know, start small so that the budget doesn't get away from you. And then, like I said, you learn more and more. We learn more and more every single time we do it. And so, I mean, that's been the best part of working with my husband at our home, is that we make our mistakes and we get to kind of like, you know, make them just ourselves, like, you know, and then learn from them. And then we feel kind of more well-rounded each time. So I would say that's my answer.
That's good. So execution, learning from mistakes, and doing it the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, Mishka Cardenas, she's broken it down. We thank you so much for taking this time out to talk to us at Miami Web Fest. And we look forward to seeing you someday in Miami. You know, you might pop into Miami. Miami is a place of luxury. You know, people come there. It's like Latin America in America. I usually call it that. So hopefully we'll see you one day. We look forward to seeing your movie at the festival too, by the way. And yes, thank you so much for taking this time out. Ladies and gentlemen, check her out. Mishka Cardenas, Rabiosa Pictures. The Kids from Hunts out now on YouTube. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Paul.